All right, now we've got some tables out there with our raw text and numeric values and some calculations. And now we've got some summary visuals utilizing some charts. A couple of pie charts, a column chart. Dashboard's starting to come together. Now let's do a little bit of formatting. I want to format the charts, add some values, some data labels in there, legends, titles, whatever. Add some more visuals. Now we do want to be careful at this point that we don't go overboard on the visuals, right? Visuals are great, but if we start adding too much, then it just becomes clutter, becomes noise, right? And then we can become distracted by it. So we do want to be careful, but adding a little bit of formatting does go a long way. Let's take a look. So I'm going to use my column chart here as the example, and then I'll leave it up to you to get in and format your other charts. So I'm going to select my column chart. And the first thing I'd like to do here is add a title to this chart. So with that chart selected, I'm going to go up to the Chart Design tab. And on the far left, we got Add Chart Element. And from here, you got several things that you can add or deactivate from your chart. I'm going to look in here. I'm going to find Chart Title, and I'm going to put it above. So I'll go ahead and select that. It creates a nice little text box for me. It just calls it Chart Title. But let's call this, oh, come on. We'll call it Budget versus Actual. All right. So now we got a little bit more context for that visual element. So the bars here represent our budget versus our actual amounts. And we got our X labels there. This is our bills. This is our expenses. But now we got some additional text there to help lend context to our chart's visual. Now let's see, what else can we do here? With the chart itself, typically, and this isn't something you have to do, but typically when I build a dashboard element page like this, I like to get rid of these grid lines in the background. I just think that they're noisy. They take up, visual that we don't really need. So I'm going to turn them off. And this is going to lead us to the next thing I want to do with my chart. So to turn off that grid line, I'll go to my View tab, top of my screen, and there's a check mark in here for grid lines. I'll turn that off. Now I've just got this nice, clean environment. But now what I like to do is with my charts, I'm going to remove the border. I really like the way this looks. And this is not absolute. We don't have to do this. This is more of a personal preference. You decide what looks best within your environment. So I'll select the chart. I'm going to go to my Format tab. I'll find the Shape Outline, and I'm going to choose No Outline. If I click away from the chart, just nice seamless graphic inside there, nice seamless visual element. If I could do that with my pie chart, I'll select my pie chart, Format, Shape Outline, and I'll say No Outline. And again, click away. I just love the way it looks. It's kind of just seamless with the rest of the graphics in there. Very cool. All right, so a little bit of formatting, like I said, goes a long way. Adding the title inside of there, removing the border, the grid lines in the back, right? Really, it starts to make those charts start to pop there. Something else we can do, if I select one of the values on the x-axis, so I want those to pop some more. So with that selected, I'll go to my Home tab, and I'm just going to bump up the font size. Maybe I'll go to 12. There we go. It's something small once again, but get those to stand out. Right? Maybe I'll do the same thing with the legend here. I can select the legend, and I can bump up that font size as well. There we go, making it just a little bit bigger for us. All right, now I said I was only going to do the column chart there, but the pie chart, I want to show you something a little more specific to the pie chart. If I select the pie chart, right now there's no values out there. With a column chart, we have your y-axis that shows you roughly where those columns land at within their values. With the pie chart, there's nothing like that. I can hover over it, but that doesn't do anything for me just visually at a quick glance. I got to use my mouse. Well, here with the chart selected, I'll go back to Chart Design, back to Chart Element, and I'm going to get into Data Labels, and I'm going to do a outside end. Now, default, we got some labels out there, but they represent the actual amounts, which is good. That's a good bit of information. but maybe I want the percentages. So here I'm going to select the actual pie. I'll just click once on it. I'm going to go back to chart elements, back to data labels, and I'm going to go into more data label options. This is going to open up my panel on the right-hand side. If it didn't take you directly to it, you want to go to this icon here, your label options, and expand out the label options section. Here, value is checked, which is great. It's great information, but I'm going to uncheck it and I'm going to grab percentage instead. Now, this is again a preference, depends on what you're trying to message here. What visual do you want people to see? Or yourself, in this case, is your personal budget, right? But I like the percentages. It fits within the theme of a pie chart. So, all right. So here's your task. We've done a little bit of formatting. Again, try not to go too overboard with it. We can create some separation between these and resize them and such. But hop down to your other pie chart. Let's do some formatting on that one as well, but I'm going to leave that up to you. So take what we talked about here, experiment, see what else you can do with the pie chart as well, and apply some formatting.